Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls of the YouTube world, CJ Rose is back in the building. Welcome back to the channel. Tonight begins a journey of two teams. And we're going to find out which two of those teams will bring a championship to their franchise for the very first time. Tonight is game one of the NBA Finals. It is the number one seeded Oklahoma City Thunder as they take on the 4th-seeded Indiana Pacers. Man, it's wild how we got here. But trust and believe, we're going to talk about it. So I got statistics to kind of break this a little bit more down, and then I could probably give as good of analysts as best as I can later on in the video. But here we are. We're going to talk about the Thunder first. The Oklahoma City Thunder came into the season with high expectations. Trying to, I guess, improve from what happened last season because they only won, or they got eliminated in the second round to the Mavericks. So now we were trying to expand past that. So I want to say December or January, I was just hearing how Oklahoma City could go to the NBA Finals. December or January. That's what we were talking about. And as the season ended, they looked good. 67 wins? 67, 68 wins? They looked amazing. They were actually one of the they were, I think, top 10 in wins for a season? Come on now, they were cooking. So they entered the playoffs with their heads up high and everything on the line. So their first round matchup was the Memphis Grizzlies, and they actually swept the Grizzlies. Almost didn't, because game 3, the Grizzlies were up about 30. They were about up 30, but Ja Morant got hurt. And from there, the Thunder just sat there and said, you know what, let's come back in this game. And they did. They came back from about 20-something down, 30 down, and win game 3, and then ultimately win game 4 and advance. Even though Ja Morant will sit here and tell you, I figured them out. Don't know if that statement is true, but I'm going to leave it at that. Next round, they take on the Denver Nuggets, and that will probably be the only team that actually gave them a little bit of scare in these playoffs, because the Nuggets actually took them to 7 games. 7 straight games. And in that 7th game, the Thunder smoked them boys. Smoked them boys, like sauteed them in game 7. And the Thunder were able to advance, where they go to the conference finals to take on the Minnesota Timberwolves. And they handled the Wolves in 5, even though game 3, they got annihilated. Game 3, the Thunder got cooked. But that didn't matter. That didn't matter at all. Game 4, they were clutch. Game 5, you already knew it was over. And just like that, the Oklahoma City Thunder go to the NBA Finals for the first time since 2012. Now, statistic-wise, the Thunder, done in these playoffs, they are 3rd in scoring at 117.1, 4th in field goal percentage at 46.4, 13th in three-point percentage, 33.6, and we're going to talk about that later. 7th in free throw percentage at 79%, 4th in rebounding with 44.3, 3rd in assists with 25.3. The best team in the postseason in steals at 10.8. 5th in blocks at 5.6, and 2nd in turnovers at 11.1. Leading scorer was SGA, averaging about 30. Rebound leaders, Chet Holmgren, averaging 8.6. Assists also go to SGA, averaging 7. Steals was Caruso, averaging about 2, and blocks go to Chet Holmgren, averaging about 2 blocks. So I think the only problem the Thunder may have in this series is their three-point percentage. But there's not a lot of volume three-point shooters on that team. I know Lou Dort is probably their best three-point shooter. He's probably been leading the team in three-point percentage. Shea will hit a 3 once in a while. Jay will do as well. Caruso will as well. Chet will as well. You know, everybody, you know, nobody's really a volume three-point shooter. People just, they just take it when they have it, right? If you got space, shoot it. Some of them do. When they get the ball, they, you know, pull up 3. Some of them do. Not all of them. So we'll see how that will be in these finals. As they take on the Indiana Pacers. I don't know who had the Indiana Pacers even being in this situation when the season started, even though last season they were in the conference finals. But they did beat a Knicks team that was crippled in the second round. That Knicks team was crippled as all hell. You know what I'm saying? So in a way, that was kind of like almost luck. But they beat the Knicks in 7 in that Mother's Day massacre. I'll never forget it. But they did get swept by the Celtics, the eventual NBA champions. And Tyrese Haliburton got hurt in that series. So advancing to this season, Pacers were doing what they do. You know, they were doing a little. Actually, in the beginning of the season, they were like up and down a little bit. They were looking kind of. Actually, yeah, they were like 6th seed. They were going between like 5th seed, 6th seed majority of the time. But they were able to persevere, get some good amount of wins on their belt, and boom, they won 51 games. I don't know how many games they won last year, but they won 50 games. They won 50 games. Heading to the playoffs, nobody really had them winning. They faced the Bucks. Gave them a chance because Damian Lillard was hurt. And that chance took them as far as they needed to because they beat the Bucks in 5. Dame did come back, but Dame, I think, hurt himself again. So it was what it was at the end of that. So Pacers in 5. They advanced to take on the highly favored Cleveland Cavaliers. And to be honest, injuries plagued Cleveland. And I ain't gonna lie to you, that's kind of how Indiana almost pretty much got their stuff off. They beat the Cavs in 5 with a Tyrese Haliburton game winner on top of that. Donovan Mitchell, Darius Garland, and Evan Mobley got hurt. So that's how we got there with that one. And then Indiana advances to take on the New York Knicks, who just slayed the Boston Celtics, just slayed the NBA champions. And now here we are. This was looking like a 7-game series. It ended up being 6. The Pacers out-coached the Knicks. Not outplayed, out-coached. Because Thibodeau didn't know what he was doing. Thibodeau was too stubborn. Thibodeau stuck to what he knew. And because of that, the Pacers beat the Knicks in 6 games. So here we are. The Indiana Pacers advanced into the finals for the first time since 2000. For the first time in 25 years. The last time they were in the finals is when I started watching basketball. That's crazy. 25 years later, here we are. Now, while they may not seem like they were the favorites to walk in to the finals, what they did production-wise, not bad. Pretty damn good. They were second in scoring at 117.4. So the Thunder were third at 117.1. The Pacers were second at 117.4. So 0.3 better were the Pacers scoring in these playoffs. First in field goal percentage at 50%. First in three-point percentage at 40%. We're going to talk about that. Fifth in field goal percentage at 79.8. 13th in rebounding at 39.6. So about 40 boards a game. First in assists at 28.1. Eighth in steals at 7.5. Fourth in blocks at 5.6. And sixth in turnovers at 12. Who led the playoffs in points for the Pacers? It was Pascal Siakam at 21. Rebounds was Pascal Siakam at 6. Assists was Tyrese Haliburton at 10. Steals was Nembhard at 1.6. And blocks was Miles Turner at 2.2. So the Pacers' problem is going to be rebounding. Definitely is. Because I already know that there's not a lot of rebounding on that team. The only reason why the Pacers probably out-rebound the Knicks in the conference finals was... Actually, can we even say they out-rebounded? I can't even say they out-rebounded because Mitchell Robinson was getting boards. Mitchell Robinson was offensive boards. You know what I'm saying? Mitchell Robinson was rebounding that ball, and Towns was doing a pretty damn good job himself. I guess it was more of the point of they were usually in the right spots, and usually once they got that board, they're already down the court. Like, got the ball, break starter badge activated. You know what I'm saying? They catch the ball, boom, laid it up already. So that's probably why they were where they were. That's why they were first in assists. Probably that was a big contributor of it. The fast break points as well. So, yeah, but rebound is going to be tough, especially against this team, Oklahoma City. They're not... I don't think OKC is bigger than Indiana. I think they're probably... I guess it depends. But Miles Turner being 7 feet, he isn't much of a rebounder himself. He's averaging less than 5. That says a lot, bro. Miles Turner going to have to rebound that ball, bro. He going to have to get down there and try to box out, Holmgren and Hartenstein. But that's going to be hard. Hartenstein is a rebounding animal. And Chet could get boards himself. Chet's averaging about 9 in these playoffs. So they're going to have to do something. Pascal Siakam and Miles Turner going to have to go down there and try to box out Hartenstein and Holmgren to get themselves a chance. Because as I look at what both teams have been doing, I kind of give Indiana a shot here. I kind of do. Because while they aren't good rebounding, their scoring could help them. It can help them tremendously. Because they're second in scoring, first in field goal percentage, first in three-point percentage, first in assists. They either take great shots or they just put themselves in good positions to score. It's pretty much what that is. But the one thing that will possibly hinder the Indiana Pacers is turnovers. Pacers play so good defense on the Knicks. They play such decent, good defense. They turned over the ball so much. Or they were able to get so many turnovers on the Knicks. I don't know if you're going to be able to do that with OKC. Maybe he will be. Because OKC is what? They're third in assists. So they pass the ball around just as well. So you just got to weigh it the way it is. It just all depends how things go. One thing OKC does have is the steals. And I swear to God, every time I watch OKC play, them boys are always on the ball, bro. They always take the ball out somebody's hand. I always see Caruso doing it. I see Lou Dort doing it. Shea will do it. Shea can do it. Shea gonna be dangerous in the series. Everybody's always stealing the ball. So them hands are always active. So they got to make sure that they're passing the ball around as best as they can, but don't pass it around enough to where one person's going to see where that ball is going next and boom, it's taken away. On top of that, OKC is second in turnovers. So they're barely turning over this ball. For the most part. I mean, technically they're 0.8 more than Pacers. Pacers are 11.9. OKC is only 11.1. You know what I'm saying? So they're kind of turning over the ball within the same rate. But I guess whatever prevails, you know what I'm saying? I think it's just either going to be the Thunder's 3-point percentage or the Pacers rebounding. Since those two things seem to be each other's team's weakness, it's like which one of those will definitely prevail. I don't know. Because OKC is going to need to score. And if Indiana finds a way to trap that paint, Miles Turner has, if there's one thing Miles Turner can do, it's block. Interior defense is up there with Miles Turner. But same could be said for Chet Holmgren. So it's like it's almost like they equal each other out in a way. But just Miles Turner, Chet Holmgren. You want to talk about rebounding? Thunder got that. But I think it just either comes down to the rebounding of Indiana or the three-pointers for OKC. It depends how efficient OKC actually shoots this ball. If they shoot it very efficiently, I don't know. It might be over. Can't even say over, but Pacers have it. I mean, Indiana may not have a chance. I don't see it. Even though Indiana has been shooting it so efficiently as a team, I guess it just only depends on how things go. But if Indiana plays as efficient as they have been these playoffs, I can give the Pacers at least 2 games. I can give them 2 games. I kind of been almost right in majority of my playoffs so far, except Pacers, Knicks, and Timberwolves, Lakers. Other than that, I've been pretty all right in my playoff predictions. So with this, I could say Thunder's in 6. I could confidently say I can give the Pacers 2 games. I can. Yeah, like I said, I give the Pacers at least 2 games. Other than that, I got the Oklahoma City Thunder winning this title. Bringing that championship home to Oklahoma City and that organization for the first time. I got Shea becoming Finals MVP, which means he would have won the MVP, Finals MVP, Western Conference player MVP, Western Conference MVP, and the title. Is he the first person to do it? Yeah, technically, yeah, he would be the first they brought this conference MVP last year, 2022. Yeah, because Steph and Jason Tatum were the first two to get it. So yeah, Shea Gilgeous-Alexander will be the first man to win MVP. Actually, no, didn't Jokic do that? Yeah, Jokic did that. My fault. 2023, I forgot. No, we didn't. No, why am I thinking Jokic won MVP that year? No, Joel Embiid won MVP that year. Yeah, so yeah, Shea will be the first one to ever do it. Yeah, Shea will be the first to win MVP, Western Conference Finals MVP. I'm sorry. Yeah, Western Conference Finals MVP. MVP, Finals MVP, Western Conference Finals MVP. That's what they call it. I forgot what they call it. And the title. Yeah. He'd be the first person to do it. Who won MVP last year? That was Jokic. Yeah, Jokic won MVP. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I'm trying to think this whole thing through. I'm like, am I right on this? Yeah, I am right on this. Pacers also become the fourth 4th seed to get into the finals. First team to do it was the 06 Mavericks. Then it was the 2010 Celtics. And I had no idea the Celtics were even the 4th seed that year. That was crazy. I was like, what? And then the last team to do it was, of course, them 2018 Cavaliers. So we'll see how it goes. I got Thunder in 6. Let's see how the first game go. But until then, it's been Rose, man. Thank you for watching. Thank you for all the love, support, as always. Y'all see me on Saturday, because Saturday is Money in the Bank. You already know we're going to watch it. We're going to talk about it. You already know what it is, man. And then after that, just uploading what I got left. And that's about it. So until next time, peace, love, 100. Here.